Hey guys, what up? It's Dan, aka Hoop Sneakers, and welcome back into the Hoop Sneakers YouTube channel. Today I'm here to talk to you guys about the Xtep Court Killer. So recently I was sent a pair of Xtep basketball sneakers from Xtep Company, which is a Chinese sportswear company, along the lines of your Antas, Leanings, Peaks, 361 Degrees, etc. So just another sportswear brand based in China. Some of you may have heard of them. They um, they have Jeremy Lin, former NBA player Jeremy Lin, endorsing their sneaker, and he has a signature sneaker with Xtep. I don't think they're not currently on NBA courts. They don't have any current NBA NBA players sponsored by them, but they reached out to me and wanted to send a pair of sneakers my way, which is greatly appreciated. And then they, obviously asked if I could do a couple things for them in order to just promote the sneaker and just promote awareness of the brand. So we're here just to take a quick look at the Court Killers today. So this is the sneaker right here. So as you can see, it's a pretty modern looking performance basketball sneaker, with textile mesh material upper, a lot of TPU support pieces, and a fairly soft feeling midsole cushion. So we'll go over all that in more detail later in the video. What I really do want to start with is the fit and the sizing of Xtep sneakers. So basically, when Xtep reached out to me to see if I'd be willing to cooperate with them sending me a pair of sneakers and doing some content for them, I said yes, of course. So as most brands or most websites or companies do, they ask me what my shoe size was, which I normally take a US men's size 11, or usually an 11 and a half in Nike sneakers, and then I'll often go up to 11 and a half in other brands, and often go up to size 12 in Nike sneakers. Generally, I'm 11 or 11 and a half. So I told them that, but they wanted my Euro size, which I'm obviously not very familiar with Euro sizing. I don't use it as my default very often. So then I had to sort of, do a bit of Googling, and I had to look online and try to convert a US men's size 11 to a Euro size. And then I quickly looked through some of my other sneakers from other brands to try and get an idea of what size to tell them to send me. And I came up with size a Euro 44 or a 45, and that was based on Google research and looking at some of my other sneakers that I already had. So to give you an idea of what I was looking at, so like I looked at my most recent pair of Antas, which I don't know if anyone of you have seen them on my Instagram page, but they're part of the Shock the Game collection, and they're called the Go Crazy 5 Sweep 3s. They sent me a US 11, which they had labelled as a Euro 45. So for Anta, Euro 45 is US men's 11. And then my most recent pair of leanings I looked at were my Ushuai 14s. Yep, my Ushuai 14s. And I actually got sent a size 10 and a half US men's in those, and they were Euro 44 and a half. So similar sizing to the Anta. And I looked at another pair of my leanings that were US men's 11, and they were Euro 45. I looked at a pair of Peaks that I had, which I went all the way up to US men's size 12, and they were also labelled as Euro 45. So now we have our first discrepancy between the US men's sizing and the Euro sizing, Euro men's sizing. So far, we've had both size 11 and size 12 as Euro 45. I looked at my Nike Zoom Freak 2s, which are 11 and a half, and they're listed as a Euro 45 and a half. So actually a half size smaller than the Peaks, but Euro, they're listed as half size larger. So again, 45 and a half is the 11 and a half in a Nike sneaker. And then I was looking, and then I looked at some of my Adidas sneakers, and US men's 11 in Adidas is a 45 and a half Euro, and then an 11 and a half in an Adidas is a 46. So I say all this to say that I was a little bit confused by the Euro men's sizing or the Euro sizing. And so I just told Xtep that I normally take a Euro 44 or a Euro 45. I was probably, now looking back at it, I was probably being a little bit ambitious saying a 44. I don't know whether I was basing that off the peaks because their size 12 was a 45, so then I thought an 11 would be a 44. I'm not really sure why I said 40, but I said 44 or a 45, thinking that that would equate to a size 11 or size 12 sneaker. So when I got these in, when I first took them out of the box, they didn't look anything out of the ordinary. They looked like pretty much a normal pair of sneakers that I would buy. Like they looked usual. But then I checked the tag, and they sent me a Euro 44, and it says that it's a US 9. I don't know if you can see that in there, but so then I was like, oh, these are size 9 US. So I was a little bit worried, but like I said, they looked normal. And so I tried them on, and I can fit into them. I can get my foot into them, and they offer quite a snug, tight fit, and my toe is pretty much right at the end of the sneaker, which I was expecting, I guess, with them being like two sizes smaller than what I normally wear. But what I've inferred from that is that I think that Xtep sneakers must fit quite big, because to me, this feels more like a size 10, I guess. I think this feels to me like a US 10 in an Adidas sneaker and maybe a 10.5 in a Nike sneaker. So if I was to get those sizes in an Adidas or a Nike, that's the fit and the feeling I would get from those sneakers that I equate to this one. Obviously, I can't say that for sure because I don't normally get my sneakers this small. I do generally like a little bit extra length at the toe, and I have quite a wide foot, so I generally try to err on getting a bigger size or a half size up at least, just to accommodate my foot a little bit more. But having said that, even though these are a US 9, they do fit me when I consider myself generally usually a US 11. They do fit me, and I have worn them a couple times just to shoot around and playing a little bit. I wasn't, going full court competitive and running up and down a court or anything, just shooting around in them. And they feel okay. They're not like giving me any, pinching or chafing or rubbing or anything like that. The material is actually pretty soft and pretty accommodating. And so it fits in my foot pretty well considering what size that they are. So I guess I say all that to say that if you were looking at getting a pair of Xtep sneakers, they do have the US sizing listed on the global.xtep.com website, but it just seems like that their sizing conventions differ a little bit maybe from the Euro sizes listed by other brands. But if you go by your normal US size, you should be good to go. Like I went on there and I think like like a men's US 11 is like a 46 or a 47, which is obviously a lot bigger than the brands we talked about at the beginning of the video, but the US sizing matches generally what the US sizing. I think they fit a little bit big, so like if you were going to grab a pair and you're like a snug fit, you could probably go down a half a size or a size from what you normally wear in like a Nike. But that's what it is. So you don't necessarily have to order them based on Euro sizing. They do have US sizing listed on the Xtep website. Now I'll cover off the rest of the sneaker pretty quickly. So starting off with the outsole of the traction. So you've got a few different patterns on here. There is sort of like a crisscrossy, diamondy, sort of modified herringbone pattern at the forefoot with this like slash drip pattern there as well. It's quite a firm rubber to be suitable for outdoors, in my opinion. It's very tacky, and it sticks to my wood floors at home pretty well. So take that for what you will. Move on to the cushion real quickly. So I'm not 100% certain what Xtep calls the foam compound that's in the midsole of this sneaker. But what I will say is that it does feel very soft to the touch, very plush. It reminds me of Anta's A Flash foam, which I believe is an ETPU foam. Which, if that is what it is, then you're getting a pretty decent foam cushion for the price that this sneaker is. So the cushion, we've talked about the fit, and we've touched on the materials a little bit. The materials are pretty nice for the price of the sneaker. There are some like synthetic plasticky fused overlays in high wear areas like at the medial toe and the lateral midfoot, which are there for both support and containment and durability. And then there's like synthetic rubber TPU pieces on the shoe as well. The only other thing I did really want to talk about this sneaker is what I expect for like support and containment of this shoe, because I obviously haven't played a competitive or organised game of basketball, and from what I can gather, they've got pretty much got you covered in terms of all the support features you could want or need in a modern basketball sneaker. So the base, the 4-foot base of the shoe isn't super wide. It's probably more on the narrower side, but it is pretty flat. And the rubber there is flared and exaggerated to act as somewhat of an outrigger. You do sit quite a bit within this midsole foam here, which is great for containment on those lateral movements. And then, as you can obviously see here, there's quite a robust TPU midfoot piece, like torsional support piece, which runs from the lateral midfoot all the way through to the base of the sneaker. That's a really nice piece to have, especially in a shoe in this price range. There is this external heel clip piece, and there's not really much. There's a very, very modest internal heel counter in there as well. It's not, the strongest TPU heel clip, internal clip that I've ever come across, but you do have this winged piece which extends all the way through from the lateral to the medial side, which will help to contain your heel. And then you've got your traditional lacing system as well. So, you've got pretty much, with the exception of I remember when I first got them out, I remember thinking that the internal heel counter was sturdier than that, but it's not the strongest or most robust piece of tech in a sneaker, but it should get the job done. So basically, I've pretty much covered off the main categories of this sneaker, so that pretty much takes care of it for a quick look at the Xtep Cork Killer. These you can get from, as I said, I believe the website is global.xtep.com or xtep.global.com, but you can just Google Xtep Basketball shoes into Google and you'll find it pretty easily. You can shop from there. They've got Australian prices listed on the website. As I said, the US sizes. You can always hit me up on Instagram if you've got any questions about the sizing if you were looking to grab a pair of these. Right now, this particular sneaker is going for just over $50 Australian, which is really, really quite cheap. You obviously need to deal with some shipping prices, I would think. But with all that being said, that pretty much takes care of it for these guys. We'll see how we go in doing a performance review on these. I may end up just doing a written performance review on the Hoop Sneakers website, which is hoopsneakers.wordpress.com. I don't know whether I'll come back to YouTube to do a video review, but if I do a performance review on these, it'll be written review, it'll be on the Hoop Sneakers website, and I'll link to it on the Hoop Sneakers Instagram page. But with all that being said, that takes care of it. This has been Dan, aka Hoop Sneakers, on behalf of Xtep Company with the Court Killers. And I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.